welcome everyone. So y'all might be following the journey a little bit and know that I started One Piece. So today's video, I would like to just make it half of East Blue. So I'm going to cover Romance Dawn, Orange Town, and also Syrup Village. And so that's chapters 1 through 41. And then I will do the other half next week. Okay, so before we start and go into One Piece, which is what everyone is here for, I want to ask y'all a couple questions. So I wanted to ask, are there any other fantasy series that y'all really enjoy? Whether it be manga or otherwise, definitely really interested in that because this is mainly a fantasy channel. And so I would like to keep y'all around, not just for One Piece, but we're here for like, you know, whatever else. So if y'all have some other recommendations or just want to tell me about some of your favorite characters, favorite series, you know, novelized or manga or whatever, please let me know because I do want to know. I feel like I can't ask favorite One Piece characters yet. So we'll save that kind of fun stuff for later. Maybe who's your favorite One Piece character, like when you started One Piece? I think that would be very interesting. And then I saw that some of you guys, not many, that's fine, asked me some questions when I had asked for you guys to ask me some questions because I wanted to do a little video. One of my friends, Andrea from Mexico, we love her. She's actually one of my friends, like in real life, and she's very supportive. Love her. But she had 3 questions for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer those, which is, what is your favorite fictional character and what book is it from? Honestly, can I cop out and say Aragorn from Lord of the Rings? Just a very, very good representation of non-toxic masculinity. There's a lot of like YouTube videos and studies on it or whatever. And so I think that's really cool. He's a very faithful, loyal guy. He's just all around like a good guy. And I like that he comes in very mysteriously, which is very enjoyable for me. So my quick short answer on that, and that may change over time. If you don't like a book, do you continue reading it or do you stop reading it? I'd say it really depends, but for the most part, I would stop reading it. Like if I really, really don't like it, I'm just gonna stop reading it. I'm not gonna waste my time. Like life is too short and I have way too many books over here on my shelf to read. So yeah, I'm just gonna stop reading them. And then of all the books you have read, which one would you like to live in and why? Well, this is really difficult because, like, obviously the Shire is great. So I'm gonna give a couple. The Shire is great for the what was peaceful and like it then turned peaceful again. And then we have Hogwarts because the magic school is awesome, but it is not very safe. And then, I don't know, I think living in the world of One Piece would be really cool too because I've always thought pirates are really cool. Thanks to Pirates of the Caribbean. Caribbean, if you're nasty. Anyway, okay. I think that's what I got for that. Between the world building of Lord of the Rings and the Wheel of Time, how much One Piece do you think you will be exploring into and how soon can you fall in love with it? How soon can I fall in love with it? I don't know. I'm really liking it so far, but how soon can I actually like fall in love with it? Don't know yet. And I have not read Wheel of Time, and yeah, I read Lord of the Rings, but I did not read Tolkien's other works, which I would like to eventually. So yeah, I don't know what else to say for that question. So, another person said, say, do you poop? Girls don't poop. Okay. There was another comment here, which I did see that they were on one of my other One Piece videos. Thank you for returning. And going to my community post, that's cool. And they said, what do you do for a living? Just got curious. Thank you for asking. I am a medically retired Marine. So I was in the Marine Corps, medically retired almost 2 years ago now. I am returning back to school in the fall for Spanish so that I can be a translator. That is my current new dream after retiring medically. So yeah, that is that. That's all my community post questions. So let's get into what you guys are really interested in, which is my initial thoughts on One Piece, the first part of East Blue. So I am separating it like this because I told you I wasn't going to take notes. And then I did. And that's just because like, no matter how much I don't want to be, I am a note-taking person. Like I have to stop and be like, I want to remember this. I'm gonna come back and like take notes, and you know, I really care about being kind of thorough, and I know that my memory isn't the best, so note taking is really good for me to remember some stuff. I mean, literally some of my stuff on here is like just drawings, which we'll get to that. I'll show you guys. So, but some of it is just drawings, so that'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this character and their part in the story and all that kind of fun stuff. So I have this split up into crew-ish. So all the people that have been introduced that maybe will be a part of the crew or already are a part of the crew, that sort of thing. And then I have some side characters, the pirates that are evil, and then the evil non-pirates, which I guess you could say, like, it seems all pirates are evil to some degree, but not Luffy's gang. Anyway, so let's just jump into it. Like I said, this will be covering Romance Dawn, Orange Town, and Syrup Village. So this will be completely full spoilers for chapters 1 through 41. Yeah, okay, so let's start with, geez, where do I even begin? I don't even know where to start. I think we'll just go character by character, because if I'm trying to go like in order of like the way the stories went, that gets a little bit more difficult. I probably should have written it down better, but let me know. I'm all down for criticism and all that kind of fun stuff. For what you guys think will be better in the future, just let me know. So Zoro, which I thought was Zolo at first, that's my fault, my bad. I want to talk about him and Luffy together and talk about how Zoro's like too confident, right? And he's like, or not too confident, he's too serious, and Luffy's like overconfident and very goofy, and I think that they really help balance each other out. I really like their banter with each other, even though, you know, I've only been with them for such a short time, but I already like their kind of dynamic and seeing them spend time with each other, and just like, I feel like they just get each other so quickly. Like they just form that bond so quick. It's like when you click with somebody and like that's it, you just know you guys are gonna be friends forever. Like that's kind of their vibe, which I really like. Of course, I loved Zoro's misconception of character at first. Like you think he's going to be a bad guy, or you think he's going to be, you know, so serious and not want to have anything to do with pirates, not want anything to do with Luffy, and then, you know, he eats the rice balls out of the dirt for the little girl, and he's like, tell her I ate every bite and that I loved it, and then they do, and Koby and Luffy do, and it's just so sweet. That was such a nice moment. And then obviously finding out about his 3-sword sword fighting is epic and awesome and cool. Like, what else could I say about that? Because it is amazing. And yeah, really, I sense a pattern of we kind of get crumbs of people's past, and maybe we'll continue to get crumbs as we go along. But, you know, in this format, I'm realizing, because for some of y'all know this, I am not a manga reader. This is my first manga. I know you guys are like, wow, really ambitious, because like your first manga is gonna be like over 1,000 chapters. Like, yes, but it's in my wheelhouse though, because it's fantasy and it's pirates. Like, what more could I ask for? So that's a comfort zone for me, at least, is fantasy and pirates. So I'm like, okay, cool, I can get on board with that, and then, you know, read the manga, and yeah, really enjoying it so far, by the way, if you guys have not been able to tell. So yeah, and then we see Koby and his storyline, which I really enjoy, how he's just such a coward, and Luffy comes in just overconfident and kind of saves him from the life that he was living to, you know, continue his dream of being in the Navy, which I thought was really cool. And I can't wait to see him pop up later, because I'm sure that he will, and that he will probably save his butt in the future. At least that's my thought. Hopefully Koby doesn't turn on him or forget, which I don't think he would ever forget Luffy and what he's done for him and Zoro and everything. So let's see. Also, Koby kind of overcoming some of his cowardice because of Luffy, and you see that when he is, you know, untying Zoro from the grounds, and he realizes how evil this guy was, who was Captain Morgan, and Helmeppo, his son, who was in charge of the base at the time or whatever. Yeah, I'm glad that the Navy wasn't all like bad guys, and that it was just like there was a bad person in power, which, do I need to say anything else about that? We don't always have great leaders in positions of power, just in any scope, so that can be really real. And I definitely did like that storyline, and I feel like so much happens in such little time, so if I feel kind of like all over the place, forgive me, and just eat up the little crumbs. Like, try to pick up what I'm putting down here, because it is a lot, and I am trying to, you know, give you guys all of my thoughts as much as I can. Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, liked and still got a little bit confused as to why Luffy picked a fight with Koby so that Koby would become courageous and you know, punch him or whatever, and maybe it was to show that they weren't allies or whatever, but then they all salute him as he goes on. Anyway, I thought it was really funny when the Navy was like, okay, now we can't eat for 3 days because this is illegal. That was really funny. But yeah, I would say, yeah, to prove he wasn't a pirate, that little fight thing, I would like an explanation of that because it makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't like fully make sense to me, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but that's okay. I will say Luffy did have a scene where he was, you know, he's usually goofy for the most part, right? And then he had a scene where he was very serious, and I feel like the serious moments that we get with Luffy are so few and far between, but it makes it that much richer because you see him acting as a kid so much. You see him so goofy and so like nonchalant, and then, you know, something serious happens. He's like, no, this is it. Like, you ruined my straw hat? Nah, fam, this is it for you. Like, this is the one thing I'm serious about, you know? And I love obviously his backstory with Captain Shanks and kind of the story there. I will say, like, I don't feel very much right now emotionally towards a lot of the characters because I haven't spent a lot of time with them, and because Oda only had like this is a week by week manga, so he doesn't have a lot of time to fully flesh out the backstories. He has to put them in through different spaces in time, and different spaces, different weeks or whatever. So yeah, like I said, he's got no time to waste, which is not like most, you know, big novels where you wrote out the whole book and then you can go back and be like, oh, well, I didn't say enough about this story, let me go ahead and do that. He can't go back. That's it. And I really like that. And yeah, he is a great storyteller. I feel like you really would not read this and immediately think, oh, this was done on a week by week basis. He was just like, you know, thinking of this and having to do this all quickly. Like, you would not think he was doing it the way that he has been. And also, while he's so young. And I do love his little chapters that he puts in there with the questions and answers, and why Luffy doesn't kill other pirates or hasn't killed other pirates was because basically if you've hurt their pride and their dignity is gone, it's just as good as killing them. Like, it's probably even worse for them, which I thought was a really cool answer. And he's a well-spoken guy, I think, when it comes to his questions and answers. Like, he can just answer questions in just a couple words, and I'm just like, wow, that's a good way to respond to something. And sometimes he'll have his characters in there too, which I think is a really nice little detail. Nami, she has, I don't know what the consensus is on her in the beginning, but I know that she's definitely an annoying main character so far, just because some things she does where now it's really, I really have one example of why she made me mad before you guys get your little tippity-typey, and I'm not saying I dislike her, I'm saying she made me mad one time, and that she can be annoying because she is very headstrong and very stubborn, and she has her past with disliking pirates because they killed someone she loved. Makes sense. You're allowed to be annoying at that point, like, towards pirates. But it was like, she said something to Zoro and Luffy and was like, oh, well, you guys don't care about each other's lives or something like that. And it wasn't that. That was kind of like, she just wasn't understanding kind of what was going on with their dynamics and how they can kind of speak to each other with their eyes almost, or their body language, and she wasn't really understanding that, so she thought that they didn't care about each other surviving or something like that. And then she's like, oh, I don't care if you guys live or die, I'm gonna go get my treasure. But like, we know that's a front, we know you're lying. Like, why say that? Because you know that's not true, because why did you stick around? Anyway, but I don't know, that one instance made me mad. Let me know if that made y'all mad, because I don't know. All right, I'm trying to really get through this, because we got a lot to go through. All right, let's go with, so the rest of these, I'm gonna kind of talk all over the place with them. I'm gonna try to go chronologically, but I know that that's gonna be really difficult. So the misdirection of Lady Alvida, I thought that was a really nice detail, and that's a very small moment where obviously they're like, who's the fairest in the land, kind of like, is that Maleficent who does? No, it's the queen from Snow White who does that. But anyway, kind of, and I could see that he has a couple influences from fairy tales, which we'll get to later, but we see that with Lady Alvida, and I like the misdirection of you see the first scene of her is her eyes and her hair, and you think she's going to be a very beautiful woman, and then she ends up being what she looks like, and they give her that look of almost like in Mulan, the lady who tests her for her femininity and how marriageable she is or whatever. She looks like her, like facially, because they've got this like big like almost pear shape and almost more manly features, and then on top of that she is quite well fed, I must say. And I thought it was so funny when Luffy's just insulting her and everyone's like, no, not Lady Almeida, what the heck? But yeah, the misdirection I thought was kind of cool, even though it takes like a couple seconds of misdirection. I just thought that that was cool and something I just kind of noticed. And then obviously that's where we meet Koby, is with her. And then I already talked about Helmeppo and Captain Morgan a little bit, and I really love Oda's character design, and Helmeppo is just disgustingly ugly like, and so annoying. And I think the way he made his character looks so pretentious, and that's exactly how he is, and I feel like the character design is perfect for how his personality is. And then Captain Morgan looks absolutely freaking terrifying, and his axe hand was so cool, and it makes you I don't like using the expression skin crawl because that makes my skin want to crawl, like it, ugh. I hate that saying, but that's exactly how you feel when you see the freaking axe coming out of his arm and you're like, oh, how did he get that in there? Like, what is the, and then like the little screws in his jaw, like what is going on there? But the character design is really cool, and I'm glad he changed the character design because I do remember seeing his little drawing of what originally Captain Morgan was gonna look like, and we're like, ooh, that's not it, buddy, that's not it. But yeah, pretty BA character design, I will say, for Captain Morgan. He definitely would be very intimidating, and that's just putting it lightly, right? So let's go to, let's see, they're in a city. I don't know exactly what city it is, but Chow Chow's there, and the mayor is there. And I wanted to say that, Chow Chow, or is it Cho Chow? I'm pretty sure it's Chow Chow. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, kindly, because I'm trying my best and I don't have a lot of time to watch the manga, although I am also watching the manga at the same, watching the anime. Goodness gracious. I am watching the anime a little bit as I go to kind of see and hear like the pronunciations and see the things in color and everything. And I must say, I do love anime from the 90s. It has so much character, and I think this was the anime may have been early 2000s or late 1990s, but I definitely do think it has that character, and I know that it'll grow to be more new, more modern, more crisp and clear, but I definitely like how much character that some older anime has, and manga as well. So yeah. Alright, now I'm gonna do like 5,000 tangents. That's just how it is. So Chow Chow, such a good loyal boy. I love him. And how he saves the crew after they freaking the building from his owner that he was set outside and it burned down because someone set it on fire, and then they save one thing of food for him, and then that he will guard that food for the rest of his life. Oh my gosh, it's like, oh man, it makes me want to tear up because like I am an animal person, and I love dogs, I love cats, I have 2 cats, and yeah, I just love animal companions of any sense in fiction and in real life. So of course that's going to pull on a lot of people's heartstrings, and Oda has said he really loves animals, he really loves to draw animals, and you can tell from that storyline, you know, what he thinks. And then the mayor, he's very funky, he's got a very funky design, but he was very heroic. He cared about his town a lot. Like, he was gonna go down for his town, and his town was gonna go down for him. I love that dynamic there. Gaiman or Gaiman, however we want to say, I literally, and now this is where I wanted to show you my little this was my only note for him. I thought that this kind of like side story was really interesting, and I bet that he will show up later. The fact that he was waiting for so long for the treasure that he thought was there and then wasn't, and he's stuck in this box forever. Like, I'm just thinking of how uncomfortable that would be, but how he came to love where he was at. And I think that that's kind of like a deep theme there too. It's like, and Oda really like ties in deeper themes, whether he knows it or not at the time. He's tying in these deeper themes that can be really important for kids and for adults, like, to think about. Like, you may be in an uncomfortable situation, you may be waiting for something that really, you know, wasn't there to begin with, or like that wasn't the main thing that you should have been looking at. So the main thing he should have been looking at shouldn't have been the treasure, it was the animals. And he's like, yeah, actually, I actually kind of love it here. I actually do love being a protector of this place because this place is so beautiful and I don't want anyone to ruin it. I've actually really enjoyed being here. And I thought that that was really nice, even though I would have loved to see him more, and I'm sure that we will. Loved like the random crazy creatures on that island. I thought that was just a nice little detail. Need I say really anything about red-haired Shanks? Probably not, but oh gosh. I feel like the most time I'm about to spend is on Usopp and his crew. Oh, I will tell y'all, I love how he turned the boy who cried wolf into the boy who called pirates, but flipped it on its head and kind of put his own spin on it. That he's, you know, he's lying to the town. But the reason he did that is his backstory with his mom, who was dying, and his dad left to be a pirate. And, you know, he came back to her and hoping to lift her spirits and be like, the pirates are coming, in hopes that it would be true and that his dad would return. And, you know, that he'd basically have a happy, harmonious family. And she's like, hey, they're not coming back. And the scene, I'm gonna put it in here if I can. The scene, the picture of him where he's all like, the amount of grief that is on his face and he's still trying to hold back those tears as a kid, like, wow. I wanted to cry looking at that. Picture of Usopp. I mean, the most emotional storyline. Am I sweating? the most emotional storyline so far is Usopp. Like the whole thing. That's what's made me the most emotional, because you find out the reason afterwards why he is calling for the pirates, and I think that makes it so much deeper. It's not just that he wants to be a liar, it's that he lies to help people in a way. And I love how the whole town was kind of like, I'm not waking up yet, like Usopp hasn't come by to tell me like the pirates are coming, like what is going on. But yeah, I do love that, his backstory there. And although it was short, because like I was saying, there's no time to waste here. Some of it is short and that can hurt it, I feel like. But this, the way he wrote, the way Oda wrote it, where you don't know until a little later, I feel like really helped with the emotional impact of it. Yeah, since then he shouted his greatest desire that the pirates, his dad, would return. And I wrote that his crying scene was so sad. Oh my gosh. When he's getting freaking beat up by these pirates that are actually there, that he called and he was like, I'd rather the town not know. And his crew, which by the way, one of them is called Onion and looks like an onion. It's Onion, Carrot. Oh, you guys are screaming. I'm hearing it, but I forgot the name, so it's fine. But I kind of hope to see these kids again also. I love that he becomes a part of the crew, by the way. But the way the kids were like, why don't you want to tell the town? Like then they'll know you weren't lying. And he's like, it's so rare that pirates would come to this land. Let's lie to them, because they're safer not knowing. Let's let them believe that me saying the pirates are coming was a lie. And then the kids are like, anything for you, Captain. Oh, I love the kids. They are so cute. I love them so much. And then at the end where they're like, we know what we need to do. We need to carry on his legacy. And then they go down the streets yelling, the pirates are coming. Oh my gosh. Like, could you make that any better? I don't think so. And yeah, goodness, wow, I think I have touched on almost everyone. Oh, other than Captain Kuro and Django. Django's has such a funky design. I love it. He like moonwalks everywhere. It's so funny. And then Captain Kuro, and how I mean, maybe I should have seen it coming, but like I have told y'all, I am not the most well-read person. I really did not see it coming that he was going to be the villain. And with oh my gosh, is her name Maya? I really hope it is. Is it Maya? Shoot, how could I not write her down? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, she was pretty BA too for being like medically going through lots of things, which I feel you, girl. I feel you, girl. And him being the villain, and yeah, I wasn't expecting it, though I read it really fast, so it's like, you know, one scene you're reading, he's good, next scene you're reading, he's bad, because like it just goes by so quickly, it feels like. But yeah, it feels like so much happens in such little time. I'm really enjoying this. Like I said, this is a new medium for me, so I'm used to longer novels. I haven't watched anime in a very long time, and I haven't read any manga all the way through ever. But I did read like some volumes when I was in like elementary school of like Pokemon or something, like, and I think one of the volleyball ones, I forgot what it's called. But I know that I haven't gotten very far, but I would like to separate the bigger arcs into the smaller arcs and kind of do halfway. That way I can be able to sit here and talk to you guys for a longer amount of time and be able to get all the details I want out, because I know someone commented, hey, we don't mind how long these videos are. I do, because it takes me a long time to edit these, and because like I gotta cut out all this crap, and like sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying, and you know, I just lose track, and the brain fog be brain fogging. So I don't know how I've gotten so much energy. I think I am just so excited to talk about this with people who love it and people who have things that they don't like about it. Like, let's talk about all of it. No spoilers past chapter 41. Next week I will be doing East Blue Part 2, and so that will be continuing and finishing that arc. When you're seeing this, I'll actually be in Orlando competing at the Wounded Warrior games, and if you don't know about that or what that is, I will link it down below so you guys can be a little bit more well versed in that and know that, hey, I'll be doing other things. Like, I can't just sit at home and read all day. Like, I have other things that I do in my life. So yeah, I will be traveling. So if I do not respond to your comments very quickly, that's because I will be in Florida. So and I am excited about that. And hopefully I can finish Game of Thrones while I'm out there, the first book in A Song of Ice and Fire, which I still have not finished yet. I'm at like 38%, y'all. I think it has taken me forever to read Game of Thrones because it is a long book. When it comes to actual word count, it is a long book, and so that's why it feels so quick to get through One Piece right now, where I'm just like on my Kindle, like give me more. And then I watch some of the manga too, or I keep doing it. I watch some of the anime to kind of get reminded of what's going on. But I think I might do ratings by arcs. We'll have to see. I don't even know if I'm going to want to rate the manga. I think I just want to kind of give you all the vibes of like how I'm feeling, but I am loving it. Like I said, please do comment down below what other things you like to read, other books, other series you'd like to see me read, whether it is manga or it is novels. Preferably, I would like to still read lots of novels. As you see, I have lots back here, and I actually have a new book back there. My husband and I are going to be reading The First Law together, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, if you guys haven't read novelized fantasy, I would say definitely try to pick it up. If you have questions, let me know. I can point you in the direction of someone who knows the answers, or I may have the answers myself who really knows. What else? I'm loving it. Favorite character so far is Zoro, obviously. And I mean, Luffy is great too. Obviously, they're kind of like neck and neck there, but Zoro, I like maybe a more serious character. And obviously 3 sword fighting. I have a sword tattoo, which has some second skin on it if it's looking bubbly and stuff. Yeah, don't worry about that. So yeah, I love swords, love sword fighting. It's cool. What else? I think that's about all today. If I forgot anything, kindly let me know what I forgot and we can talk about it. Just please don't spoil anything. And if you do, be aware of the comments, because I know that the fan base will come for you. And it will not be pretty. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna sit back. But I would love to have conversations with you guys, and let's talk all things fantasy and One Piece. And yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed day or night wherever you may be, and I will see you guys next week with the second part of East Blue arc.